now news.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
AM 1420, WBSM presents Spooky Southcoast with your hosts Tim Weisberg and Matt Costa.
Good evening and welcome to Spooky Southcoast. Tim Weisberg here, along with not the silent assassin Matt Costa, because hey, it's way too early for him to be out of work. It's way too early for all of us to be out of work. But I do have with me science advisor Matt Moniz. How's it going, Moniz?
It's going.
It's a little bit of a strange night for us. We are here in prime time talking about the paranormal. Normally we're on Saturday nights from 10 to midnight. Well, about 10 to midnight. That's why we're a little bit late getting started here. There's a lot to set up with this show. And
yes, there is.
we have our good friend Dave Francis joining us here in the studio for the first time. Glad you could make it down, Dave. It's only been about 7 years.
Yeah, I'm glad I could make it down, too.
And now you see what it is that we have to set up to put this show on.
I'm never picking on you guys in the chat ever again.
We've got the podcasting going over here. We've got the spooky TV going on SpookySouthcoast.com. If you want to see inside the studio, you just have to go to SpookySouthcoast.com and click on the live show tab there, and you can access the show's video feed as well as the chat room where you can interact with everybody. Hi to everybody in the chat room tonight. We got Nate holding down the fort. I saw John in there. So we're getting a good little group going, even though you're here.
They miss me, don't they?
Yeah, I'm sure they
You
do.
miss me, guys?
And tonight we're going to be having a different type of show because we're on in prime time. We're going to be talking first with our first guest, Alex Hedge, who's going to be talking to us about paranormal unity and a new group that he has started up. Well, he started up a little while ago. That we're going to talk about the concept of paranormal unity. For those who are unaware and listening to the show maybe for the first time, all these paranormal investigators that are out there now, this big influx of people who investigate the paranormal that you see on TV and who are actually out there every day, every weekend in the field, there's not always a harmonious relationship from group to group. So that's been a big problem in furthering this field. So we're going to talk about that with Alex in a minute. And then later on in the program, we have Wayne Morrison from the Rock for Christmas Foundation, who's going to be joining us. And I know normally we have Wayne on in November. Everybody's like, what's Wayne doing on coming on in July? Well, Rock for Christmas in July is coming up next Saturday in Onset at the Onset Band Shell. And it's going to be quite the show. So we're going to have Wayne come on to talk to us about that. And also some of his rock star friends who will be performing in the show will be joining us. We're looking to be talking to some big names from the world of classic rock, hard rock. I don't want to give everybody away just yet, so stay tuned for that later on. Of course, Dave, we want you to chime in as well. You're co-hosting with us tonight. So
Awesome.
He's like, wasn't expecting that.
No,
but
I thought I was just going to watch.
But hey, that's the way we
Welcome
roll.
under the bus.
Yeah, you're part of the spooky crew now. All right, so why don't we get right into things then with our topic of discussion for tonight, that being paranormal unity. Our guest is Alex Hedge. He is the founder of Ghost Hunters United, which he started last year in September. So we're going to talk with him about the plan for that and about paranormal unity. Hang on here, let me do this. Lots of buttons. See, it's so much easier when Costa's here and he can just do all this. Good evening, Alex. How are you?
Good evening. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Hey, it's working. We can hear you.
That's great.
See, unlike all these other ghost hunting groups that are out there and who have their own quote-unquote radio show, meaning blog talk radio show, we actually have to use real radio equipment on a real radio station. So sometimes, things don't really work out as well.
Well, it's understandable, like last week with the baseball game and everything.
Sure, yeah. I apologize for that, and that's what's funny about this is we make fun of we pick on these blog talk shows sometimes, but sometimes they have a lot less problems than we do getting through a 2-hour show. So I guess maybe I should keep my mouth shut.
Well, it's all understandable.
So now, how did the idea of we'll get a little bit into the background of how you got involved in the paranormal, but when you decided to make that leap and get involved in the field, what made you think that paranormal unity was going to be the way to go? Because this is something that a lot of people have been trying to work on for a long time.
Well, that's understandable, but you just get so sick and tired of seeing groups fighting back and forth. You see it on Facebook and other social sites like that.
Sure.
But the thing is, it's not only us seeing it. It's potential, clients seeing it also,
mm-hmm.
and they see it. They don't want have somebody come in, and investigate their place. You see it on TV also, and it's just, you just get, aggravated at seeing it.
But,
So, me and my wife have both decided, why not try to start up a unity? And that's a long time coming. And, hopefully it takes off. Hopefully more groups join. And, it's just, I think it's time.
well, I want to ask you this, and I don't mean this to be insulting to you in any manner, but how long have you been involved in the paranormal field itself?
The field itself, about 4 years.
Okay. And in that 4 years, have you seen some of these other, because I know that they're there, they just might not have come across your radar. Have you seen some of these other organizations that have popped up and tried to go the paranormal unity route?
As soon as I started this, then I started seeing it.
Sure.
It's like going out and buying a brand new car, and then you buy that brand new car, and then all of a sudden you start seeing them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's basically that way. So,
I think. Well, hold on though. When you're buying a blue car, and then say you go out and buy a blue Nissan, and then you go out and you see a lot of blue Nissans. Those blue Nissans are running just as well as the blue Nissan you just bought. How many of these paranormal groups are saying, "Hey, I tried that same thing, but I couldn't do it"? I mean, you're looking at the equivalent of seeing the same car you bought broken down on the side of the road 50 times.
Well, I hope we can do it. I really do,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not giving up. If you work on something so hard, it's bound to work.
Sure.
And I hope it does. I really do. We've been working on it for so long. Every day it's work. Every day you're trying to get more people in to become united.
Now, I don't mean to sound discouraging. I'm just, kind of playing devil's advocate here a bit because it has been attempted so many times. So what is the format then that you're using to kind of unify these groups? Is it just a matter of trying to intercede where you see a problem where they don't get along? Is it encouraging groups to share evidence? What is the foundation of Ghost Hunters United and how you plan on bringing them all together?
If you come on our site, that is, we have never once had, any arguments between any teams that are on our site.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we represent. Don't argue. If there's an issue, then we'll do our best to resolve it. It's like.
But in doing that, though, aren't you almost kind of putting judge and jury on yourself?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
Not judge, not jury. Okay, I guess it came out the wrong way. We have
more moderator maybe than anything else.
Yeah. More of a moderator, and instead of fighting, you see it all the time, and you just want to kind of calm it, try to make things a little more easier.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like with teams that have a lot of experience, years and years of experience. And it's happened to me before when we first started, it's just saying how good they are and how much better they are. Why don't they just try to help other teams, that need help? When we first started out, we had an issue, we had a problem with something, and we asked another team for help. And their exact words was, if you have to ask that question, you don't need to be in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And if you know so much, help.
Right. I mean, but I guess it all depends on the personality of the person or the personality collectively of the group that you're dealing with. I'm sure there's plenty out there that are willing to help and are willing to assist. But at the same time, I suppose even though nobody is or should be making money off, say, paranormal investigations, the fact is that each group is kind of its own business. And in business, they don't really share secrets with one another. I mean, McDonald's doesn't tell, Wendy's how to make the secret sauce.
That's true.
You're looking at this in the wrong venue. You should be looking at these aren't groups as a business. These are charities.
No, but I'm saying these are the way that they're looking at it. They're looking at it as protecting their
that's
investment.
Where the problem is. These aren't a business. This should be a charity.
but also it does bear some sort of weight to say, well, maybe you shouldn't be doing it if you don't know. You know, maybe the fact that you don't know
Just like
this
a charity.
particular bit of information means that you're not quite ready yet.
Well, like I said, same thing with the charity. You don't start up a charity for something if you don't have an idea what it's about, correct?
That's true.
Everybody runs into issues. Everybody runs into problems. I don't care if you've been in the business for 10 years. You always run into issues. You always have questions. You know, and why can't we just lean on each other for this? You know, why can't we help each other?
I'm sure that there's some degree of competition amongst some of these groups. I mean, obviously, you know, if you're trying to reach out to the other group that's in your area and trying to get them to share, it might be a lot harder than, say, if you're asking a group 8 states away to help you out. I mean, do you find that a lot of these groups that are willing to get on board and be part of this united effort, you're getting one from a region, one from another region, or are you getting clusters of them in certain areas?
You know, we've got. I live in Kentucky, and we've got a group from a nearby town in Portsmouth, Ohio. You know, but right, you know, it has taken a while to get groups to join. You know, I mean, they're not all just all of a sudden swamping in.
Sure.
You know, because I don't have the money to go out there and put advertisements on every single website. You know, I mean, you know, everything I make goes on the website and goes on our equipment to Ghost Hunt. You know, so, I mean, you know, we just don't have, you know, to put out commercials. I think that once the word gets out, like for your show, for instance, hopefully we get more members in. More members willing to help other, you know, other investigators.
Mm-hmm. Well, when you say the money that you have coming in, are you talking about like your own personal money? Are you raising money under the banner of Ghost Hunters United?
No,
Okay.
no, I haven't. No, I have not at all. You know, the money that I personally make goes in to GhostHuntersUnited.com and goes into our equipment.
But I mean, it may not be a bad idea to pursue an avenue where those teams that are associated with Ghost Hunters United could each contribute, you know, a few dollars to helping spread the word of Ghost Hunters United. Therefore, everybody's kind of a partner in it, and that gives them a reason to help promote it. And as long as, you know, you're very upfront with where the money is going and how it's being used, then, you know, it's a real grassroots way of getting the word out there, and everybody would feel like they're a part of it.
Well, you know, but then on the other hand, you know, I'm afraid that maybe they'll start thinking that, you know, that I'm taking the money from that for personal reasons. Mm-hmm. You know, and I've seen that a lot with other websites. Websites don't last long once you start asking for money from people.
That's true.
And I'm not like that.
We have Dave Francis here. He's a longtime independent investigator, and he's been joining us on a few of these shows lately where we've been talking about a lot of these topics, and I think Dave has a question for you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the question I had, if there were to be some type of, you know, funding that's coming in for this, especially if you're looking for unity, are you going to be able to fund and be able to help other teams to get up to the same bar as everybody else? So you're using some type of a standard, the same type of equipment?
I hope so in the future. You know, everybody's entitled to what they want to use, but I hope so in the future, you know, that we do have teams that are donating to the used equipment, whatever. You know, I mean, I don't have the finances right now to do it, of course. Mm-hmm. You know, but in the future, I would love to start seeing things come in, and then when a team needs help, I can help them. You know, we can help them.
Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to throw the phone lines open if anybody wanted to call in with any questions that they may have for our guest, Alex Hedge. 508-996-0500, 1-877-996-1420. Those are the numbers. You can also email us, spookycrew@spookysouthcoast.com, or jump in the chat room at spookysouthcoast.com. And the numbers are up on the website as well, too, if you need them repeated during the course of the discussion. You're right, though. Money is where things would especially start to get hairy. When you're trying to do something for this reason, to try to bring everybody together, you know, that sends up kind of a red flag when you're asking for money, because it's like, oh, well, you're trying to get so many people involved and line your own pockets.
Yeah, but, and you know how, I mean, you know how expensive it is to run these websites, and you know how expensive it is to build them. You know, but that that means nothing to me right now. What means anything to me is the members coming in, you know, for unity.
Now, have you done any kind of demographic profiling on the groups that are getting involved? I mean, do you kind of have a handle on what types of groups are joining in the effort? I mean, are you getting a lot of long existing groups? And I'm talking like pre-2004, pre-Ghost Hunters types groups? Or is it kind of a lot of ones that have come along lately in the later part of, you know, the 2010s?
I haven't done any type of research on that yet.
Mm-hmm.
That has been on my mind to start. But no, not of yet.
It seems to me that a lot of the basis of the bitching in the paranormal community is these older groups and older researchers who have been around for a while who are kind of taking offense to these, you know, the post-TV groups that have risen up and decided that they want to get out there and do it because they see it every Wednesday and Friday night.
Yeah, but you know what they're really complaining about? The big issue is seeing these people on TV screaming and yelling at spirits, you know, and actually...
No, it's screaming and yelling at each other.
Yeah, that too.
That's true. Yes, yes, exactly. You know, they don't represent. They're not only representing themselves, they're representing everybody.
See, you know, I used to feel the same way that you do, Alex, about that. I used to feel like when Jason and Grant or Zach Bagans or any of these people are on TV, you're not just representing yourself. You're not just representing your group. You're representing all people within the field. But that's like saying every scheming, backstabbing, bitchy barista on Survivor represents all baristas. You know what I mean? They're just doing what they can to win their $1 million and... Or I don't even know what they give away on Survivor. Is it $1 million? I think so. I don't know. So they're just doing what they can do to get their prize. And that's kind of what those who are involved in paranormal television are doing. They're just doing what they need to do to keep their show successful. We can't really hold them responsible for an entire field of people no more than we can hold, you know, anybody else that's in a position on TV and responsible for an entire field of people.
Or take professional sports. There's one bad person that, you know, throws a fit.
But professional sports is a little bit different because professional sports are an affiliated organization amongst people who are all tied in together and in a union.
This is what's going to lead into what I was talking about.
And there's a commissioner involved who lays down the rules for that. And that goes into what I was arguing about with Chris Balzano a few weeks ago about having such an organization for the paranormal.
And this is what I was going to bring up. Unfortunately, you're not going to have any unity in the paranormal first and foremost until it gets standardized. Once it is standardized and you have a set code of ethics that is accepted, and only until then, that is when you will have unity, because it's mandated, it's ordered. You will act in this particular professional manner. You will do this, this, and this, and this. Not necessarily saying this is how you're going to conduct investigations, although a standardized SOP that is practiced and accepted won't hurt either, but there should be a moral code of ethics that should be established first off and accepted by all groups that want to be considered credible.
I'm going to say this, Moniz, and I mean this in the best possible way because you know I love you, but you're a much better chemist than you are a sociologist. You're coming from the perspective of somebody who is looking at the science end of this supposedly scientific field. The problem isn't in the science. The problem's in the personalities. The problem's in the people.
And there aren't personalities in science? Let me take you to my laboratory for a day.
But that's fine. But this is the problem that Alex is talking about. I'm assuming, Alex, where you're seeing a lot of these problems. It's not necessarily in, you know, what to some degree I'm sure it is, but it's not just the equipment that's being used or the evidence that's being captured as much as it is just a clash of personalities, and it's probably jealousy more than anything else.
Well, yes. You know, you can have $200 worth of equipment, and another team can have $10,000 worth of equipment. And you know what? I mean, me personally, I prefer an audio recorder.
Mm-hmm.
You know, personally, you know, it's just I see it. You know, and I know you all do too. That they think they're better than anybody else because they've got all this equipment. But all that equipment ain't going to do you no good if you don't know how to use it.
Right. And all that equipment won't do you any good if the stuff that you capture on it isn't going to be understood and accepted by those you're trying to present it to.
Exactly.
I mean, I just don't understand how investigators can go out with the mentality anymore of they're going to be the ones to capture that one piece of evidence that's going to change everybody's mind. It's not going to happen. So looking at these groups that are getting involved, I mean, do they seem enthusiastic to be part of this unity movement, or do they seem like hesitant, almost like, I'll give it a shot. I'll dip my toe in that water and we'll see what happens? Because I'm sure a lot of these groups have been involved in some of these other unity movements in the past.
We have a lot that is very enthusiastic in it.
Mm-hmm.
I work a full-time job. My wife, she works a full-time job. We've got so many things that we need to do to the website, it's like write-up things,
Sure.
But, it just takes time to do it.
Yeah, just in looking at the site, I mean, it looks like it's kind of set up in a social media networking type of format.
Yes, sir.
And the idea behind that being, of course, that if you can get people to interact socially, then maybe they'll get along. But as we see we had a whole episode about this a few weeks ago with Dave, where it seems like when you can almost make it so that people can hide behind their computer against each other too. Have there been incidents yet where you've had some sniping and things that you need to get in there and kind of step in between?
No, not once.
Excellent.
Not once.
Well, I mean, I suppose too that
fighting.
I mean, that speaks to the environment that you're creating. People probably go into this understanding this isn't the place for that.
Right.
They're just going on the person's Facebook page and doing it instead.
What they do there is fine, I guess.
Sure, yeah.
But,
Now, what is probably the biggest stumbling block going forward besides, just getting the word out and letting people know that you're there? But what do you see as the biggest stumbling block going forward with trying to expand the reach of Ghost Hunters United?
It'll probably be financial.
Mm-hmm.
That would probably be the biggest stumbling block. Would be, getting enough finance for, to reach everybody.
Sure.
To have them to come in.
Have you given any thought to approaching, or maybe you have, and have you approached any of the quote-unquote paranormal celebrities and asked them to get involved and get behind it?
We do have Scott Tipperman from GHI. He has joined our website.
Well, so the hope being that, maybe some of the people that follow him will see that he's part of this movement and get involved. And but that is a double-edged sword, though, because some of the people that are involved in this United movement might actually have a problem with people who are profiting off the paranormal in such a way.
I haven't ran into that yet. I mean,
Okay.
Look, we don't care if they're on TV. That's not the big complaint.
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about this. What the big issue is, and it is about fighting with each other that are on TV, yelling and screaming, at the spirits and at each other. And he's never had that. I've never seen him, in an argument with anybody on GHI.
And I just want to go back to something that you just said, and that's the idea of, it seems like you're putting out the idea that it's not acceptable to yell at spirits in an investigation. And it seems to be something that I'm hearing a lot lately, that people have a problem with the confrontational investigative style. Is that kind of what you're hearing from your membership too?
Basically, yes. I guess if it's a bad spirit that does throw somebody off of a 2-story building or whatever, and you're trying to get it to do it to you, well, it's fine. Yell at it. If you want to throw you off a 2-story building, go for it.
Mm-hmm.
But actually just sitting there yelling, and because you're not getting no information, you're not getting nothing, they're not giving you anything, you're going to yell and scream at them to try to get them to? No, that's not right.
But sometimes...
Haven't they done enough? I mean, they're dead. Have they done enough?
Well, I mean, not to belittle anybody who's passed on, but they're only dead. It's not like they've entered sainthood just because they passed on to the other side. Does that mean that they're above reproach because they've just moved into a different form?
Well, I don't know.
I'm just saying.
It's inappropriate. I just think it's inappropriate. And a lot of people think it's inappropriate.
Well, a lot of people think it's inappropriate to yell at a living person, too. We still have to do it sometimes. And on an investigation, sometimes we have to do it, too.
You do if yelling and screaming. I just don't find that appropriate.
We'll agree to disagree. I've done it. I've had success with it. And I will say, granted, usually when I'm using that approach, I end up with a negative spirit responding to me. Sometimes it's the same one.
Yeah.
No matter where I am.
Upstairs, downstairs, choking him up against the wall and beating the snot out of him.
Right.
Well, he got what he asked for, right?
But because I don't think that the idea of an investigation necessarily is to make friends with the spirit. It's to document the spirit's presence. And if that's what it takes to let the homeowner know that, yes, there is indeed something here, or if that's what it takes, when you're in a more public location to document the activity that's there, then that's what it takes. I mean, sometimes kid gloves have to come off in any kind of confrontation. That being said, you shouldn't go in there and, road rage all over the place.
Yeah,
but
it shouldn't be your sole method.
Yeah. I mean, it might be my soul method, but that's just for that one particular spirit.
And I'm talking soul, S-O-L-E.
Yes. So, I mean, these are just the kind of things that I'm sure come up in discussion amongst your members all the time. I'm sure there's a lot of this debate going on between different approaches, different techniques, and the more discourse there can be amongst those, then the more different ideas can get spread around, right?
Yes, sir.
Is there, in your site plans, do you have any plans to start cataloging some of these ideas and maybe coming up with this accepted standards and procedures that Moniz is talking about amongst your members?
That is in the future, yes.
May I make a recommendation?
Yes, sir.
Head to MUFON's website. They have a whole outline of how people and individuals are supposed to act. You may be able to parrot some of that stuff right off of them, and they actually encourage it for other groups to follow their example. That's a standardized group that's accepted in all of the states, actually in various countries around the world. This is kind of the way you might want to borrow from something that's already working.
Okay.
And I say facetiously all the time to people who are trying to come up with this list of standard operating procedures for investigating the paranormal. I'm always like, well, rule number 1, make sure you all have the matching T-shirts. Rule number 2, make sure you have the stick-on magnet logos for your cars. But beyond those two obvious ones, what are some of the ideas? What are some of the serious ideas that you think should be part of a standard operating procedure for investigating?
Well, I mean, for one, I mean, I don't think you should take your cell phone in with you.
Okay.
That I believe would interfere with equipment.
So many people these days are trying to use their cell phone as part of their equipment.
Well, like what's that called? The ghost radar.
Ghost radar, which is bunk, but like Bill Chappell's putting out iPhone software and the iOvilus and different software, and now he's working on Android versions.
Let's see, I didn't know that.
So I mean, that might be, that might have some value, but yeah, I understand what you're saying. Keep it away from all the other equipment.
Right. Well, you asked the questions, don't you?
That's why we're on the air.
Yeah, we're not.
I didn't get in the flight plan or anything.
Well, we don't do interviews here. That's why we have conversations. That's our approach. We try to look at it as being, let's talk organically and discuss it. I mean, no, that's fine. If you haven't put thought to it yet, that's fine. It should be something that comes organically out of your community. It should be something that everybody's working on together. No, I was just trying to pick your brain a little bit just to kind of see, what your thoughts are. I know one of my thoughts are when on an investigation, there should be absolutely 100%, don't get mad at me, Dave, no smoking on an investigation at all.
One. That's a good one.
I don't even like when we have a company called Legend Trips where we bring groups of people to historic haunted locations, and we'll have 30, 40, 50, 60 people at these events, and they all want to take a cigarette break in between. Well, now you come back in smelling like a cigarette, somebody smells tobacco. Is it you or is it a spirit? You can't tell anymore. So
we actually ran on an investigation doing that. Somebody was outside smoking, and it was coming in, and we're like, "Oh, y'all smell that? Smells like a tobacco, cigarette smoke, or whatever." And then all of a sudden they came back in, and hey, guess what? That's what it was.
Right, and that's one of my biggest pet peeves. I mean, I know that people smoke, and I'm not going to stop them from doing it, even though I think they shouldn't. But definitely not on an investigation. You shouldn't be anywhere near it. And
no tar heroin either.
yeah, black tar heroin, no.
Yeah.
That's a no-no. That's one of the other things, too, that I have a problem with is I notice that a lot of people, they like to go to mind-altering substances to try to get into a different...
Like bath salts.
Well, let's not go that far. But some people do like to try to, maybe partake in a little marijuana before they conduct an investigation because it opens up their senses. But I think it also
do that on your own time.
Yeah, it kind of dumbifies you too. I've seen some people when they do it that they wouldn't be in a state investigating their own sock drawer for another bag, let alone a ghost.
Yeah. Just do that on your own time.
Now, what's your theory on bringing a psychic or a sensitive into an investigation?
That's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
That's perfectly fine. I have no issues with that whatsoever.
So, and it's just kind of like another tool in the toolbox is how we look at it.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. I have no issues with that. A lot of people do. And you know what? It's your team. Make your own decisions when it comes to that. But me personally, I would love to have one on our team.
My favorite is the groups who are against it because they're like, well, how does it look to the client? How does it look to the client? And I try to explain to them, most clients would listen to a spirit medium or a psychic well before they would listen to a paranormal investigator.
Correct.
Well,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, that's what most people see as a person that talks to spirits.
Yeah, that's their conduit to it, yeah.
That's what they see all the time on television, and that's what's been, popular for literally hundreds of years. So seeing a medium, it would not throw them off, generally.
Now, Alex, you had some experiences in your younger days that led to your interest in this field, right?
Yes, I did.
Do you mind sharing some of those with us?
No, I don't mind. Growing up, we moved to a little house, like a little
Was it
little
on
farm
the prairie?
A little house on the prairie, yes. But it's just little things start moving around in the house.
Mm-hmm.
We all stayed downstairs. It was 2 stories. You start hearing things walking up and down, moving up and down stairs. And I had a little. You remember Knight Rider?
Oh yeah.
I had a little Knight Rider car. Wasn't remote control or anything. Sitting on top of my dresser upstairs. It was just me and my brother home, and we heard something hit the floor, and it sounded like it was rolling around. Something was rolling around. So we go upstairs and we see this little Knight Rider car going around in circles, just moving in circles. And we ran out the door. We sat outside on the porch until Dad got home. We
Wow.
were scared to death. And
Well, the good news is the only thing it was just the ghost of David Hasselhoff's career.
with that,
So
that's cruel. That is cruel.
Hey,
No,
I'm
what-
not the guy that eats cheeseburgers on the floor, okay?
The toilet being filmed by his
I'm not
daughter.
doing commercials for Cumberland Farms. Anyway, sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt your story.
No, it's perfectly fine. My mother told me, it was a while later after this, that my cousin was shot and killed in the house in the living room.
Oh, wow.
He was young, 12, 13 years old at the time, I do believe. And, at the time, we didn't know. I didn't know. Dad did and Mom did.
Mm-hmm. But they didn't share it with you guys, yeah.
No, they didn't share it with us. Dad never had any experiences, in the house. But the kids did. Mom did every once in a while. And then when me and the wife, we got married, we moved into a renter's home. And a lot of activity, doors slamming shut when they weren't even open. The sound of doors slamming.
Mm-hmm.
Never seen the door slam, the sounds of doors slamming, walking up and down the hallways, people talking when there's nobody around. We were laying in bed, talking, and this orb appeared above us, the size
Wow.
of a soccer ball. And it sat there, and then all of a sudden, it moved slowly across the ceiling and out the wall. It wasn't no headlights or anything. Because it was perfectly round.
But it was along the wall, or it was kind of floating in the air?
It was floating in the air.
3-dimensional, spherical?
Yes, it was. Right out the wall it went.
Wow.
And after that, we started talking. That was several years ago.
Mm-hmm.
We started our own thing.
So you started a group then doing investigations following that?
Not following that. It was about 4 years ago when we started, doing our investigating. But, after we talked about it and everything, then we wanted to find out what actually was going on. I still wanted to go back to the house that I grew up in.
Sure.
And talk to them. I drove by a while back ago, and they had a little girl playing out in the front yard, and I was afraid to actually, go knock on the door and be like, hey, is there anything going on here?
Right. No, I mean, it's something that I'm going through myself, trying to get into a location that I used to have experiences when I was younger. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
Try to take a step back. Put yourself in the shoes of the person who had these experiences when you first moved into that house with your wife. Now, from the eyes and the mind of that person, what would you be looking for if you had called somebody in for an investigation? What type of approach would you want those people to have?
Well, I mean, knowing that you had the sounds of walking, people talking, you'd go in there and you'd set up, listening for, people walking in the hallway, noises like that. Try to get several EVPs, do EVP sessions. And
see, because I think that's what's kind of key is when you're trying to come up with an operating procedure and a plan of attack for an investigation. You can't look at how things have developed over the last 4 years of investigating. You have to kind of look at what it was before you got involved in it, because to a lot of the stuff that we are experiencing when we're out there in the field, our eyes and our ears kind of glaze over a little bit with it, because it happens all the time now. Catching a lot of the stuff on EVP, say, happens all the time. So we don't really pay as much attention to it. So when you're coming up with this list of ideas and procedures, you want to kind of remember what it was like to be on the other side of it and what it was that, that side of the equation is looking for.
Right. That's understandable. And, when I'm at a location, I like to sit back for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to just listen. If it takes an hour, it takes an hour just to sit back and listen.
Do you feel like you're acclimated to the surroundings?
Yes. Let it all come to you.
Is there, when you're doing that, though, and you're trying to kind of become aware of the surroundings, do you worry a little bit, though, that might be wasted time in drawing out the spirit, or that, that when you're first there, that might be when they want to first communicate?
That would be my guess. I mean, is listening to seeing what's going on around you.
Mm-hmm. Maybe they want to get to know you first, too, before they talk to you.
Well, that could be possible, where you could be listening for other sounds that are around the building,
Mm-hmm.
the location, train in the background, noises of vehicles driving past.
Right, pipes expanding and air conditioners coming on. Yeah.
Because if you're in the middle of it and you start hearing these things, you're like, oh, did you hear that? Oh, did you hear that? Well, guess what? I already know what it is.
It's funny, too, that you have to kind of be aware of, people do research into the history of a location, say a house, but they don't really put two and two together in terms of how that house is constructed. They'll have the whole backstory for a house built in 1875, but they won't understand what an 1875 house means in 2012. For example, when Moniz and I investigate Lizzie Borden's house, there's invariably always a time when there's a huge temperature spike or drop, and everybody all freaks out, and we have to tell them, no, hold your thermometers up to that register that's in the ceiling or in the floor, because this is an old house, and there's a big whoosh of air that has to heat and cool these rooms.
Right.
So, well, now, we talked a little bit about your site. Of course, it's v3.ghosthuntersunited.com. And I'm sure if you just search Ghost Hunters United on Google, your site is going to be the first to come up.
Yeah, you don't have to put the V3. Just go, and type in ghosthuntersunited.com and it'll come up.
Perfect. And so now, how many members are you up to on there? Do you know the current numbers?
As of right now, no. I believe it was like 255. We had a big storm last night that took the internet out.
Ooh, that's terrible.
Yeah, I haven't been on it.
How can you live without it? And
I'll tell you, it's driving me crazy.
And now, so that's 255 individuals, right?
Yes.
So that could be like multiple individuals from the same group.
We'll see if they open up a page, because you can have a profile, and you can open a page for your whole group.
Okay.
counted also. And I believe there's like maybe eight or 10 pages.
So what we do is we need to make sure that there's more groups still, though, that get involved. We need to have as many groups as possible get involved and take part in Ghost Hunters United. And they can do that by going to the website. It's free to sign up and free to join. And Alex promises, of course, that if he does sell all your information out to groups, he'll give you a cut, right? I'm just kidding. You don't pass on anybody's information, of course, right?
No, I do not. And everything on our website is free. Everything. Our ads start out at $1 a week. And that helps a little bit. Mm-hmm. We just installed an arcade for the members.
Because people don't waste enough time on the internet, sure.
Yeah, sure. Might as well just play the arcade, right?
Yeah.
How about it?
That's always fun.
How about a place for peer review?
A place for what?
Peer review. In other words, you're a group or an individual. Here's what I've got at this location. Your opinions, please.
I guess that would be in forums.
Sure, like we have, Dave and I started something on Facebook called Paranormal Peer Review, where we encourage people to post audio, pictures, video, and the community can kind of go in there and do that. Do you guys have a centralized spot?
Yeah. You can upload your videos, upload your pictures, and add comments down below that.
And they go on your personal page, or is there a general page where people can post them up and everybody in the community would see them?
Everything that is posted anywhere on the website goes straight on the feed on the front page. Okay. So everybody will be able to view it also. But also, you've got a tab in the main menu that says EVPs. You click on it, and it'll bring up all the EVPs that's ever been uploaded to the website. Same thing with photos. You click on the Photos tab, bring up all the pictures.
Okay.
And if people want to come in and sell some stuff, their used equipment, or whatever they want to post, we've got a spot, which is it's our marketplace, and we don't charge for people to post in our market. It's 100% free.
Excellent. So it's like Facebook, Craigslist, Paranormal Peer Review, all rolled into one.
Yep, every bit of it.
All right. And apparently eBay.
No, eBay charges.
Yeah, that's true. eBay does. It takes a cut. And so now, hopefully, the next time that we have you back on the show to talk, the numbers will expand exponentially. We'll help get the word out there for you, and people can get behind this. And don't be jaded by all the other paranormal unity movements that have been out there, and not take a chance on this one, because it sounds like you're in it for the right reasons.
Thank you very much.
Just do me a favor. Don't get discouraged when it doesn't happen as quickly as you hope.
Yeah, well, it is taking a little bit, but every day we have new members, and we love our members, and that's what it's all about, is getting the groups in.
Right.
So.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us. Alex Hedge, Paranormal Unity at its finest, GhostHuntersUnited.com. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right. So there you have it. It's something that we have talked about quite a bit here on the show. We've talked about the idea of paranormal unity, whether or not it can happen. And every time we hear somebody, you do hear that enthusiasm behind it, and then you just hope, please stick with it.
Oh, exactly. I wish him nothing but the best. I really do. If he can find the formula that finally connects the dots or whatever, then all the power to him.
I think if you can get the right people getting behind you from the ground floor, then you got a chance. And it sounds like they do have a chance. All right, well, we are coming up on the news. When we come back on the other side, we will be joined by Wayne Morrison of the Rock for Christmas Foundation to talk about Rock for Christmas in July, happening next Saturday at the Onset Band Shell in Onset, Massachusetts. Come check it out. It's a free show. Joey Mullen from Badfinger, Terry Alous from XYZ, Stet Howland of WASP, and, of course, Wayne Morrison and the Rock for Christmas All-Stars will all be there. So we'll talk about that in a few. Stay tuned here on Spooky Southcoast.
First with local news, talk, and sports. This is WBSM New Bedford, AM 1420. WBSM, a Cumulus station.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. You call this a long holiday weekend? Good luck if you're not where there are hundreds of fallen trees, smashed homes, or wildfires. Kensington, Maryland.
It was the worst I can remember. We have a tree next to our bedroom, and it was banging against the house, and just things were just whirling around. It was very, very strong.
Utility repair crews and cleanup forces are out in extreme heat from New Jersey to Ohio, Kentucky, and Virginia after hurricane-like storms last night cut AC, meaning air conditioning, to millions because there's no AC, alternating current. 13 dead, many like Tut My Din's husband in Springfield, Virginia, from falling trees.
They just told me that the tree fell on top of the car when he's on the way home from school.
Emergency call volume has doubled, says Jim Resnick, Battalion Chief, Montgomery County, Maryland Fire and Rescue.
We're starting to hear a few of the calls that are related to folks involved in the cleanup, people having accidents with chainsaws, falling off of ladders, and some things like that.
ABC's David Curley in Washington.
We stopped at one man's house, Ira Allen, and he was really shook last night. They heard a bunch of noise. They were downstairs. When they went upstairs, they realized that a big branch from a tree had been ripped off, and it actually became a spear and came right through the roof and into one of their bedrooms. It's sticking about 6 feet into the house now.
Officials say power could be out for a week in some places. Gaining on the flames, fire crews at the wildfire in Colorado Springs. Containment up to 45% now. National Guard troops are on scene because police say there have been break-ins of fire-damaged homes and evacuees' cars. Egypt's new president, Mohamed Morsi, says he'll honor all international treaties, presuming that includes the peace agreement with Israel. And with gasoline prices dropping, lower crude oil prices are what Iran's oil minister calls illogical. You're listening to ABC News.
Hey, honey.
Hi, Dad.
What you drawing?
It's our house. That's you.
Oh.
Me.
Huh?
Mom and Josh.
Wow.
Playing ball.
You are becoming quite the artist.
When you're a kid, you don't know that home ownership builds communities, that owning a home contributes to higher self-esteem and better test scores. You just know that home is where you play, grow, and learn. The National Association of Realtors wants you to know that home ownership matters to our families, our neighborhoods, and our country. Learn more at houselogic.com/homeownership.
When you're running a facility, safety is key. That's why Grainger offers over 70,000 diverse safety products, and that number's growing. Everything from personal protection gear and safety signs to online safety training tools, all to help you reduce injuries and downtime and keep up with regulations. You might say safety's our middle name. Yep, Grainger, safety, Grainger. You get the idea. Cut back on costs and worries. Call clickgrainger.com or stop by a branch today. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Seemingly rare cooperation and self-congratulation by lawmakers after Congress agreed on compromises and passed a major bill creating jobs, repairing roads and bridges, and preventing student loan rates from doubling on Monday. Senator Barbara Boxer, California Democrat.
It sends a tremendous signal to the people of America, and that is that we can work together.
Congressman Spencer Backus, Alabama Republican.
The leading country in the world cannot have a third world infrastructure.
And time's a wasting. There's a 4-year deadline before the federal aid will be cut off if construction projects are not complete. The uncle of the Texas grad student mauled by chimps at a South African sanctuary says Andrew Oberle's parents are flying from the U.S. to visit their critically injured son. Oberle's in a medically induced coma. He's 26 and was given a tour Thursday when chimps reached under a fence, grabbed him, and pulled him inside, biting and dragging him for half a mile. What killed 15 cattle at a central Texas ranch? State agriculture investigators say toxic grass. It's considered the first documented case of cyanide deaths linked to a common Bermuda grass hybrid found in grazing lands across Texas. Results are in from the incident back in May. It initially sparked concern from other ranchers who use the same grass. But the experts say they believe this was an isolated case and there's no cause for alarm. This is ABC News.
I'm a teacher, and my kids keep me going all day. My feet needed help. I was using a gel insole when I heard about the ProFoot 2-ounce Miracle insole.
Only the 2-ounce Miracle is made with custom-forming Vitafoam to keep your feet steady and comfortable. The 2-ounce Miracle insoles conform to the unique shape of your feet, just like custom orthotics. Plus, they cushion and support your feet for amazing comfort.
The lightweight 2-ounce Miracle insoles really help my feet.
Try the ProFoot 2-ounce Miracle insole, available at Walgreens, Rite Aid, and other fine stores.
Chuck Severson, ABC News.
Can you tell if the surfaces in this kitchen are crawling with bacteria that could cause chronic arthritis? Listen. Can't, can you? You can't see it either. Wash surfaces, utensils, and hands frequently with soapy water while preparing food, especially when handling raw meats or eggs. Raw food may contain bacteria that can make you very sick, or worse. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year, and roughly 3,000 will die. But you can keep your family safer by cleaning with soap and water as you go. Learn more about this and other important information. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov. That's foodsafety.gov. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Morning glory and evening grace, America. It's Hugh Hewitt broadcasting from Naples, Florida tonight from the ADF conference I've been telling you about all week long. I'll be here 2 more days. And in the middle of this, the sort of the hump day in the middle of the conference, we've been having a series of extraordinary conversations. One of the participants of whom joins me now. Tim Gaglin's been a guest of mine before.
If this radio spot were Nikki Baker's life, it would start pretty normal, like this. But then
right around here, her life would take a bad turn with her mother abusing her.
And about this far in, Nikki would drop out of high school.
Optimist in Washington, but no, I'm actually very hopeful, genuinely, truly, despite the very difficult time we're at in culture.
Now, in marriage specifically, which people have been talking about a lot, obviously North Carolina voted for marriage. I've been up to Minnesota to campaign for the Minnesota Marriage Initiative. But I get the sense
we will
it's
not
almost
be an easy
below
target.
The surface that there's
we will never roll over and let pain plan our
losing.
day, or let an ache tell us what we can and cannot do. We will not linger on the sofa, ask somebody else to bring us the mail, or take the parking space closest to the door. But what we will do is take action. We will plan ahead. We will protect our bodies and fight back by moving. Lace up our sneakers and grab our tennis rackets. We will bowl. We will do our morning laps and bike ride through Saturday afternoon. We will walk our dogs around the block. We will pass up the elevator and proudly take the stairs. Because arthritis can't beat us if we beat it first. In the fight against arthritis, you need a weapon. What's yours? To learn more, visit us at fightarthritispain.org. This message brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Spooky Southcoast.
Look, I know the supernatural is something that isn't supposed to happen, but it does happen.
AM 1420, WBSM presents Spooky South Coast with your hosts, Tim Weisberg and Matt Costa.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of Spooky South Coast. Tim Weisberg here, along with the science advisor, Matt Moniz, as well as our guest co-host for tonight, Dave Francis. You know him as Low Battery Dave in the chat room. And
I'm always low.
And he's hanging out with us tonight. And we have joining us in the studio our good friend from the Rock for Christmas Foundation. We have Wayne Morrison here to talk about
Good evening and welcome to
Christmas.
Spooky
I gotta
South
turn
Coast.
that off. I keep forgetting that I'm using a recorded version.
I
of
wanted
the
to
song.
say good evening.
That works too.
You got it recorded for me.
So it seems weird to be talking to you. Well, I mean, we talk to you all year round, but to have you on the show talking about Rock for Christmas here at the end of
This is like
June.
the warmest November I can remember.
And it's also probably, you're probably sweating it out, not just from the heat either, but because we are a week away from a huge show that's going to be happening at the Onset Bandshell in Onset, Massachusetts, right down there on the beach, right before the fireworks. You're taking what's already a very good day and giving people a reason to spend the whole day down in Onset with a fantastic show.
Absolutely. This is a new ground for us doing this Christmas in July thing, but put it together with all hometown people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of exciting to have everybody coming in and performing with us.
And I know that it's something that you've wanted to do for a long time. You want to spread that good cheer of Rock for Christmas across the entire year. I mean, it's great when we can get people excited for helping out needy families at Christmas time, but we want to remember that, being able to supply them with a good holiday season starts long before November or December.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this year-round for many years now, but this is our 16th season, starting a little bit early. So,
and no better way to do it than in your own hometown, right?
Absolutely, and to be able to give back in my hometown. To me, we've been working at this together for a long time too, but always somebody steps up in another part of the country or, wants us. And we were fortunate enough to be close enough to my hometown to be in New Bedford last year. But actually I grew up in Wareham and spent a lot of time in Onset. So to be able to perform at the band shell, that's a pretty cool thing.
I was going to say, too, personally, on a personal note, to be able to get up there in front of people that you grew up with, and people that might not realize.
I'm getting a chill right now. It's like
people are going to
really
say,
cool.
Wow, Wayne is one heck of a bass player. Let me tell you.
Oh, they're not going to be saying that, but they're going to say Wayne knows the right company to keep.
So now
you're actually not a bad bass player.
Well, thank you.
I do, and I always feel bad saying this, but I was really impressed the first time that I saw you play, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Because, you've been telling me...
Your expectations were so low.
Well, you've been telling me for years how great of a bass player you were. I figured you had to be full of it.
When did I ever say those words don't come out of my mouth?
I know, I'm kidding. Wayne is actually not just a great friend to needy families in the area, but he's a great friend to musicians in the area, too. And he's always willing to help people out. And I know that he's donated his studio in the past to helping charitable events. And I know that he's willing to work one-on-one with area musicians and helping them get better. He's offered me lessons all the time.
And we were lucky enough to work together on that Rock Me Amadeus. We raised a little over $13,000, I think, that night for music education in New Bedford.
And of course,
that was pretty cool.
We spent weeks rehearsing at Wayne's spot. This guy over here behind my shoulder laying on the beach, Phil Paleologus, he just shows up and plays air guitar. And he gets all the...
What a great job he did,
too. He gets all the spotlight.
In tune, wasn't he?
So he was, too. And so just the lineup is amazing. I mean, to have a concert of this caliber come to Wareham alone is impressive. But then the fact that it's free on top of that. I mean, just some of the talent that you have coming.
Yeah, in a few minutes we're going to be talking with Stet Howland, who spent many years in Onset and played with people such as WASP and Blackfoot and Lita Ford. And his local band that many people may remember, Run 21.
Oh, yeah.
So Stet's coming in, as well as Terry Luce from XYZ, who's been performing with Rock for Christmas for many years. And we're also backing up Joey Mullen from Badfinger, which has many hits, Baby Blue, and Here It Is, Come and Get It, and Day After Day, and No Matter What.
You were talking about, getting that chill down your spine playing in front of your hometown fans, but it must also feel that way to play with these great musicians. I mean, I know that you're friends with them, so when you're talking to them on the phone, hanging out with them, that's one thing, but when you get up there and you get to actually play with them, it must be like a dream come true.
Oh, yeah, it is definitely. I'm a kid from Wareham, and and I get to have my rock star friends come in and perform. And as you know, we've backed up Eddie Money many times, and Pat Travers, and
Rick Derringer.
No, but Rick's a friend of mine.
So some of these
never got to back him up, but we did actually with Pat Travers. We did Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo though. So
some of these concerts that you put on too, I think people don't realize. When you're going to a show and you're paying whatever you're paying to get into a ticket, there's still going to be that distance between you and the performers. At these Rock for Christmas shows, the ones that you do in the holiday time especially, you really have a chance to get up there. The guys hang out afterwards. They sign autographs. They meet the people. It's really like kind of your chance to hang out and party with rock stars.
Yeah, it is. They're really down-to-earth people. They know why I'm calling them when I call them. And they've loaned themselves, to Rock for Christmas for many years. A lot of these guys keep coming back year after year. And I think they really enjoy being able to mingle with my crowds that come for Rock for Christmas, because everybody's there for the right reason. So for them to be able to make themselves available, I think they really enjoy it.
Now, kind of just a little bit of a background here, and I know we're waiting for Stet to call in, but a little bit of background. You've been doing this now. You said you've had 15 years already. You're in your 16th season. And in that time, you've worked with so many great acts. And, of course, you mentioned Terry, who is just always willing to help out with Chair. He came and played Rock Me Amadeus, which was huge.
Yeah, that was very cool, too.
I mean, do you find when you're doing this, are you ever surprised sometimes by just how much these guys are willing to give back? Because, you hear the stories about the rock and roll lifestyle and the way people live, but such philanthropists as yourself and all these guys, I mean, it really means something to the rock crowd.
I get choked up all the time. I mean, I can't believe these guys that I've been able to get into these circles, was kind of a little bit of a feat, I guess, but being there, it really humbles me to know how cool they really are. It was, and it took a long time to get past the management and to get to know some of these people. And even at first they thought, oh, what's this guy getting out of it? And then as they spent more and more time around me, they realized, well, Wayne doesn't get anything out of it. He's doing it to help less fortunate families. And that really, I think, broaden the spectrum a little bit. And
you've actually become a less fortunate family yourself and helping all these less fortunate families.
Let's not go there.
No, but I mean, we do have to recognize the amount of work that you put in during the course of the year and the amount of your own, funds that you put into making this successful. You're always ending up on the hook for bringing these guys in and for having to put these shows on, and that all you need is for people to come in December, buy the tickets, and
bring the toys at least.
Sure.
I'll let you into the show. Just bring the toys and, bring some food items. Do something to help out, which is one of the big pleas even here in July, is bring a few canned food items.
Sure.
Or go to the dollar store and get a few little toys and trinkets that we can, stuff some stockings with this fall and help less fortunate families.
Take $5 of the money that you were going to spend on buying snacks to bring with you to the fireworks and to the, Rock for Christmas in July show, and use that to put toward these families.
Right.
And now it's not just the concert, of course. You've got some other stuff going on. You've got a car and guitar show happening as well.
I do. Car, guitar, and motorcycle show. I'm actually looking for some more cars and guitars to some more cars and motorcycles to come. I have plenty of guitars.
Well, if I come down, I'll be on my bike, but it's nothing worth showing off. That's for sure.
No. Schwinn?
No, it's a Honda, but it's nothing special.
Well,
it's got a ripped up seat. Looks a little beat up, but
so we can put together some new black duct tape for you.
Absolutely.
We'll tape it right
We'll duct tape it. We'll have the rock star sign it, and I'll tell people, well, I had autographs on it, so I have to have duct tape.
There you go.
But
talk to Troy. He'll go straight to the tech box, and maybe you can pick whatever color tape you want then.
Got the whole variety.
Yeah.
So now with putting this on, though, I mean, it's going to be kind of sensory overload for people. It's going to be so much cool stuff. Guitars, motorcycles, cars, rock stars, female fans of rock stars. There's going to be quite a lot to look at during the course of this day.
Well, it is the beach.
Yeah.
It is a summer day.
Just going for that angle a little bit for those who want that side of things. It'll be happening.
It's all happening. So we'll have some sexy Santas out there too, selling some raffle tickets.
Cool. You don't have to wear the full suit yourself, do you? Because it's going to be a killer day.
No.
There you go.
I will not be wearing the full suit.
I mean, the real Santa is not going to be there. I don't mean to say that you dress up as Santa.
Santa won't be there. I won't be in the suit either. Sometimes I throw the suit on without the beard to.
See, I forget.
Just to help promote, but
we're on in prime time tonight, so there might be some people listening that still believe in Santa.
But I will be donning a Christmas hat for a moment or four, and
as long as you don't play in your Speedo.
No, that won't be happening.
So everything kicks off at 10 a.m., and it's just going to be an amazing day. From 10 to 12, you've got the car, guitar, motorcycle show, acoustic folk rock, with Greg Harper. Then the actual Rock for Christmas concert is from 12 to 4.
Right, and we're going to have Steve Lucky Dog Lutke is going to do a little acoustic set too. Then my kid brother actually is going to be the first band. And having Brucey play, that's a pretty cool thing for me too.
Is this the first time that he's ever played at one of your shows?
No, it's not. But for us, playing
being
together,
Wareham guys, sure.
So that's pretty cool.
course, the downside of that too is, when you're playing in front of your hometown crowd, you're probably a little bit more nervous than you might be some other times too.
Yeah.
If that thought wasn't in your head, it is now.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome. So now you're gonna have
Brucey's band is Slingshot, and they're playing around locally. So I'm excited to have him started off, and then the Rock for Christmas All Stars, which is me and Chris and David Ingram, Steve Massa, Nikki Testone, Tim McKenna's been helping us out with the vocals, Kyle Ingram. Where the Rock for Christmas All Stars will be backing up both Joey Mullen and Terry Luce. And then Stet will come on with his new band from up from Florida called 10,000 Views.
Nice.
They actually just have a 5-song CD they put out, so they're going to have that on hand. And
well, one of the things that I wanted to mention is we were talking about, just how helpful and how nice these guys have been in donating their time and everything. But they really are like super guys with their fans because, through you, I become friends with a lot of them on Facebook and I follow their adventures and everything. And they're just so accessible to the people.
Do they actually answer you to me?
I don't try to bother them because that's,
okay.
That's what you're for. You bother them.
Yeah.
And then I just go along for the ride. But, but they do seem so nice and accessible, and I'm sure that anybody who is a fan of these acts, you're going to get the chance to see them up close and personal, interact, say hello, and really understand what they are like as people, not just as rock stars.
Absolutely, and the level of talent that really is coming out has been increasing for years. I mean, I know everybody's kind of amazed at the show that they see for the amount of money they pay for a ticket and have the ability to actually show up and get to meet them all. So.
All right. And we have one of those rock stars with us on the line right now. Stet Howland is on the line. Good evening, Stet. How are you?
How's it going? Well, that was the quickest ever. I just barely got on. How are you?
Well, thank you for joining us. We're very excited for this big show coming up next Saturday in Onset.
And I can't tell you, I'm very excited too. It's a big coming home for me.
I was gonna say, you know the area pretty well. I mean, it's a great place to play right there on the water.
Yeah, I've been playing there off and on since '82 was the first time when I was a kid. That's when we started, and I'm in love with Onset. I have a little house there still.
And now you've been in cahoots with this guy across the board from me here for a long time, Wayne Morrison.
Oh, the handsome one? I love that guy. Yes, I have. He's one of my dearest friends ever, and just one wonderful guy, and we do a lot of good things together.
Now,
and when we were kids, we did bad things together, I think, which is why we want to do good things together now. Is that it, Wayne?
Yeah, we've been making up for it ever since, haven't we? I think we still got a few years to go, too.
I think the goods outweighed the bad after all this, though.
Yeah, absolutely. And Stet's actually the co-founder. He and I did the first Rock for Christmas together, right here in New Bedford, actually.
I say you did it here in the city, right?
Yeah.
And just to see Stet how it's grown from that first year to now 16 years later, I mean, it must be amazing for you. You're used to seeing big crowds, touring with WASP and playing with all these great acts, but for you to see the amount of people that are coming out, not just to see a show, but to support needy families.
I think it's great. Yeah, and we've been having, Wayne's got it down to a science now. It's really, it's well organized and it's just well done, and we have a great time every time too, But it always feels good to hear about. He gives me the stats. I usually fly in and do the shows and stuff, and then I'll go home, and he'll tell me how it went,
Sure.
And it's always a good story, And he gets to wear the Santa Claus suit and stuff. I don't know how fair that is.
A far cry from when we started, huh, Stet? We used to have to beg local bands to come play.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's cool. Yeah, we got a, it's a cool thing now, man. And it's always a good time, and, yeah, I think it's a good show. I mean, geez, I'm looking forward to Saturday. This is going to be crazy.
Well, you always hear people talk about like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction ceremony. They say the best part of the show is when everybody gets together and kind of just jams and hangs out and plays together at the end of the show. And that's kind of what like these Rock for Christmas shows are. It's a bunch of rock stars who are really just enjoying each other's company and really letting loose and just having fun. It's not so much being worried about, stepping on anybody's egos because everybody's coming into this with no ego at all.
Well, anyone that comes in to do this has the right attitude. We don't have problems like that. Anyone coming in is pretty much willing to do anything, and everybody's willing to go on before or after anybody else. I mean, it's just really kind of cool, and Yeah, we've had some great shows, and it's, I mean, as loose as it is in one way, it's always well organized. There's rehearsals prior, and we always know what we're going to do. The production of the show is professional, but the spirit of it all is, you know, you don't always know exactly who's pairing up with who until everybody gets there. You know, sometimes.
You just got to make sure though that every song has a extended bass solo in it, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, for Wayne. And I do know that sometimes, you know, I'll go, so what am I doing? He goes, well, you're going to play this or this guy, and then that guy. I'm like, awesome. And then, as I'm getting on the plane, he goes, hey, yeah, you know, by the way, so-and-so just backed out. You learn these 7 songs. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, can you get to your computer and download these 7, please?
Yeah, you know, it's like, oh, man, that's easy for you.
It's only
like,
a 3-hour flight, right?
I just get back in the country 15 minutes ago after like 40 dates, and then we got to learn songs. It's like, you got to be kidding me. But we always had fun, and always had opportunities playing with cool people that I never probably would have if we weren't all bonding together to do this. And it's funny when you see people down the road, because my band 10,000 Views did some shows, a show recently with Great White, and Terry is, you know, we see each other doing the Rock for Christmas events, and then we bump into each other backstage there, and he's like, hey, he's like, what the hell are you doing here? I'm like, what are you doing in Florida?
See, that's why you got to do what I do. I just follow everybody on Facebook. I can see where everybody is. I was telling Wayne, you know, it's amazing to me the level of interaction that yourself and Terry you have with your fans on Facebook, and I have a feeling that after Saturday you're gonna have a whole bunch more friends on.
Yeah, it's funny because not everybody's Facebook friendly, but for me, I have a great time with it. It's a great tool, and when we reach out on Facebook and tell people we need you to come out into a show, they come out. I mean, our last show we played in Fort Myers last Saturday night was insane, and I just said, hey, everybody, this is the last time we're going to be around for at least a few weeks. Come on out. And that was the difference right there. The place was a zoo, and it was the Facebook connection that made the difference. So, sure. You know, it's fun in one sense, but it's a tool in the other. And you're right. It's fun watching the electricity, you know, when people post stuff.
Now, how's things going with the new band? Are you guys playing a lot of cool new stuff?
Yeah, we're fab. We're great. We're actually in Nantucket right now.
Oh, nice.
We played last night. We're playing again tonight. It's beautiful out here. We're having a great time. We had a great show last night. Everything's great. We just finished our first CD, which I have with us. Everything is just wonderful. You know, we've been the band's about it. You know, I've been in the band about a year, and we worked our way up the ladder in our area, and now we do all the bigger shows. We support all the bigger shows when they come through, and now we're branching out on our own a little bit, and we got about 7 or 8 dates on this little run, and last night was the first one. It was fabulous, and tonight looks like it's going to be better. Heading up to Vermont on Monday and whatnot, but the big reason we're here, and it was Wayne's show.
Sure, yeah.
You know, our show. It's the whole reason we came up, and then other stuff started falling in, and when someone said, want to come to Nantucket the week before, I thought to myself, that'll make Wayne happy because we'll all be definitely here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make sure the entire band shows up. And the good thing for you is it means you don't have to spend the entire week with Wayne.
Right. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah,
and
perfect.
Yeah, so we're all happy. I'm sitting here looking at my band right now. We just got the guy, Pat, the promoter guy that took us out here, just fed us, and we're standing on the street corner. I'm just figured I'd keep them handy in case anyone wants to say hi to them.
Yeah.
And
well,
I don't know.
And you're gonna have CDs, T-shirts, all that kind of swag with you for the concert?
Yeah, we got T-shirts and CDs and posters. It's a new thing, posters. I just started printing them.
Nice.
100 years ago, but we love them.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be a phenomenal show, and everybody can head out there. We've got a big listenership out that way. So where is the venue in Nantucket tonight?
We're at the Bamboo Club, right next to the Chicken Box, same parking lot. And it's absolute gas. I don't know. It's probably a 200 to 220 seat club, and we had that place hopping last night. It's really cool. And yeah, it's the Bamboo Club. It's right next to the Chicken Box, same parking lot.
Hey, Stet.
And we're actually talking to the Chicken Box about the next trip.
Hey,
we're over there today, and I love Nantucket. Very fun.
Who are the other people in your band?
Timmy Johnston is our lead guitar player, songwriter, singer, and Pat Nadel is our bass player, and he's the handsome one in the band. And we're all standing around right here, getting excited, thinking about tonight.
Well, it's going to be pretty exciting to see you guys up here on Saturday. Again, the show is from 10 to 4. Is the entire day's events of Rock for Christmas in July, and then stick around because the fireworks will be after that. You're going to get a chance to see the fireworks too, or are you playing again that night?
Well, actually, Wayne handled the whole thing, and basically we're going to do the show in the afternoon, eat lobster in the afternoon after the show, and then we're going to watch fireworks, and then we're playing down the street in Buzzards Bay, a little place called the Buzzards Bay Tavern.
Oh, great place.
We'll be doing a show there like 10 o'clock. And we can't wait to see the lines out the door of that place. It's going to be awesome.
Beautiful.
I hope the guy's not listening right now. 'Cause it's going to be fun.
Did you stroll in there yet, Stet?
No, we drove by. The drive, it was great.
For anybody, we're giggling here because this is not the normal venue that we would have Stet in.
Well, it's just a smaller place, and we were looking for something that night nearby the concert, and it's fine. I just think it's going to be a great time, and I just can't. I don't know. I can't wait to see what happens.
It's close enough. You can walk there, can't you?
You guys are in the music business. You know the term is intimate.
Oh yeah,
it's an intimate show.
Right.
It's an intimate setting.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't mind the intimate setting is okay. I think it's going to be a zoo. I think it'd be I mean, I'm just assuming that you're going to have 400 or 500 people that want to squeeze into a place that holds a quarter of that. So I can't, I don't know.
Well,
I can't wait.
Set up everything in the parking lot. That's all
well, we don't really know what the heck's going to happen, but I know it's going to be a fun time, and a bunch of my friends are coming out, and that's all that matters to me. We're going to have a nice day doing a good thing in the daytime. We'll do a little rock show at night again. And then we're off to Connecticut for our final show, and then back to Florida.
Nice. And everybody can follow along. You guys have a website for the band?
Yes. 10,000views.com, and we're all over Facebook. And we're quite easy to find. And quite excited about the new CD. Everything's going quite well. We got a lot of... I've been getting offers as we're out here. It's weird things have been happening. Every time you do something, more things happen. You sit around home waiting for things to happen, nothing happens.
Sure, right.
Get active, things happen. And I got friends like Wayne that help me deal with things when they happen. He's a master negotiator. And I consider myself pretty fortunate at the moment. Looking forward to my Saturday gig.
Well, we feel pretty fortunate to have you coming to play with us too, Stet.
Oh, buddy.
And thank you
It'd be
so
good
much.
to see you. And thank you for what you did the other day, going out of your way to help me.
Yeah, no, that's what we do, brother.
Racing CDs to me.
All right.
You're a good man.
He is.
Well, yeah, I'm Saturday, onset band show, rock and roll. It's going to be an amazing time. I just don't know what else to say. Go.
We'll all share some memories of the Raven before the night is over.
Oh, I love that place. We
Rest
had
in
fun
peace,
there, huh?
Raven.
I miss it. I miss it so much.
We have a guest here in the studio with us, a good friend of ours who's a fellow paranormal investigator who actually met Moniz there years ago before he even knew him through our show. So
awesome.
Yeah, Dave's a big
10,
Raven
12 years
guy too. I'll wear the sweatshirt. If it gets a little chilly, I'll pull on the old sweatshirt. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll let you get ready for the show.
All right.
Have a
My
great
pleasure.
show tonight, and we will see you on Saturday.
All right. I'll see you all Saturday.
Thanks,
All right, take
Stet.
care.
All right, mate.
Stet Howland joining us here on Spooky Southcoast. And should we take a break and get ready to speak with Terry? Or
Sure.
All right, we will do that. In the meantime, while we are doing that, feel free, go to the Rock for Christmas website, rock4xmas.com. That's rock4xmas.com. Find out more about the events that they're put on every year. Find out more about some of the past guests. Anything coming together for the holiday season yet, or you're not even worrying about that yet?
I've been trying to put some things into place, and one thing I would ask you, if you're taking the time to go to the website, please go to the sponsor page and see all the people that continuously help out the foundation, and really without the sponsors that have helped me grow to this. To be able to do these events, and without the volunteers, without people like you guys here talking about it, I mean, it's really a community-minded thing that if everybody doesn't get involved, or everybody that does get involved is what makes it flourish and makes it happen and become the cool thing that it is.
Sure.
Well, if you're talking about sponsors, you don't have to be in the rock and roll industry to help sponsor, correct? Any business that wants to help sponsor, you can do so through your website?
Absolutely anything, a raffle item, or, you want to volunteer a couple of hours, or you want to, donate some food or gifts. And
you mentioned the raffle. We should mention, too, you're going to be having a raffle on Saturday.
Yeah, we're going to have some autographed guitars, and there's some beer swag and T-shirts, and there's a lot of little items that'll go. Some other autographed pictures and from some of my other rock star friends. So there's some cool little things that you can go home with.
And I've bought many raffle tickets at Rock for Christmas shows. There's a ton of great prizes all the time, and everybody's a winner just for making a donation and helping out with the needy families.
Now, is there a PayPal on your site that people can make a cash donation to if they wish to?
There
okay.
is.
Yep. No need to wait for the holidays anymore to support Rock for Christmas.
What are you doing, Matt? You're typing in the address right now to make a donation?
Yeah.
Atta boy.
He doesn't know how to work websites on that thing. I have to load it up for him. All right, why don't we take a break? When we come back, we'll be joined by Terry Luce, a good friend of Rock for Christmas and a good friend of this program as well. A great friend of Rock for Christmas.
Absolutely.
And a good friend of this show. And we'll be right back in just a few minutes with more here on Spooky Southcoast.
Go, Caleb! Come on, hit a homer, Jesse!
Let's go, guys!
Hey, did you guys know that kids who play sports earn more money when they grow up?
Of course. I knew that.
Hey, did you guys know that kids who read books have a bigger vocabulary?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Wow, jinx. Did you guys know that friendly children have more friends?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's true. I knew that. Did you guys know that winter babies are better at music?
Everyone knows that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yeah, so obvious.
Oh, hey, guys, did you know that most people think they're using the right car seat for their kid, but they're not?
Huh, I didn't know that.
I'm pretty sure I knew that.
I'm pretty sure you didn't.
Parents who really know it all know for sure that their child is in the right car seat at the right age and size. Visit safercar.gov/the right seat to make sure your child is protected. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This is Jack Peterson with the latest featured animals up for adoption at the Forever Paws Animal Shelter at 300 Linwood Street in Fall River. Forever Paws has two wonderful dogs up for adoption. Farley, a very handsome 2-year-old boxer lab mix. He's extremely friendly, who loves and bonds well with people. He recently was surrendered by his previous owner. He's housebroken and very well behaved in a home and enjoys going for walks and riding in the car. Buddy is a 4.5-year-old black lab, and like Farley, was also surrendered to the shelter. He's very friendly with a happy and cute personality and is trained to sit, lie down, and give his paw. He gets along well with other animals and loves to swim. Now, the beautiful weather has arrived, and how cool would it be to have Farley or Buddy as your best friend riding in the back seat of your car? For more information, call the shelter at 508-677-9154 or visit their website, foreverpaws.com.
Welcome to the Maya and Miguel Challenge. Meet Maya and the gang.
Oh, hi, I'm Maya.
Maya and her friends want you to get up and play, because it's always more fun to be active.
There's mountain biking, boating and fishing, mountain climbing and spelunking. Let's get started.
Get ready to take the Maya and Miguel Challenge.
Let's see.
Just go to letsmove.gov and look for Maya and Miguel. You'll find tons of fun activities that'll help keep you healthy and active. Muy activo! You can also check out healthy recipes to try with your family, play cool games, and get free downloads. So come hang out with Maya, Miguel, and the whole gang.
Go!
Remember, whether you play sports, run, dance, or jump in place, just get up and play at least an hour a day. And don't forget, eat healthy to be your best. Maya and Miguel will show you how at letsmove.gov. That's letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and the Department of Health and Human Services.
It takes 12 years to create a graduate. It takes about the same time to create a dropout. The difference between a child becoming one or the other could be you. Studies prove that reading to a child regularly dramatically improves reading skills. And kids who read well by 3rd grade are 4 times as likely to graduate. So United Way is calling for 1 million volunteers over the next 3 years. We're asking you to step up, make a pledge, tutor a child who needs help, mentor a kid who needs someone on their side, volunteer to read to children, make a difference. Because when a child advances, we all advance. Entire communities improve. The path to success or failure starts long before graduation day, and the difference between a graduate and a dropout could be you. Be a reader, tutor or mentor, give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Take the pledge. Go to liveunited.org now. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Thanks for asking, but I'd rather not send you nude pictures. I'm camera shy. I already said no. It's against my religion. I'm giving my dog a bath, you can have pictures of that. Pressure gives me hives. Under my clothes, I'm a robot. Hold on, let me ask my mom. Sorry, my webcam is broken. I'm worried they'll get passed around school. Unfortunately, I just had my clothes surgically attached to my body. If they got out, I might never be president. I'm already naked, under my clothes. Not even if you were all 3 Jonas Brothers. I have a rash. I have nudophobia. I have lizard skin. The more you ask, the less I want to. You're not the boss of me. Nudity makes me vomit. I'm a vampire, so I don't show up in pictures anyways. Your badgering has really killed the mood.
When someone is pressuring you to do something you don't want to, how many ways can you say no before they get the message? Let us know at that'snotcool.com. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hello.
Hey, man. You up?
No.
Wake up. I need to talk to you. I think your house is haunted.
Hey, come on. It's 2:30 in the morning.
I can't sleep in here, man. I'm scared.
All right, welcome back to Spooky South Coast. Tim Weisberg here, along with science advisor Matt Moniz, as well as Dave Francis, our co-host, sitting in with us. And we have Wayne Morrison of the Rock for Christmas Foundation with us as well. And we are definitely rocking out here to the late, great Michael Jackson. We just passed the anniversary of his death, so, you know, on this show, there is no death, only a change in perception.
And address.
Yep. Yeah. So, Dave, anytime you want to go hunt for the ghost of Michael Jackson, you know, we're game. I'll even let him touch me. I'm not afraid. I'll even let other ghosts touch me. So,
I don't know. That moonwalk thing never did it for me, man.
Really?
I would be out of there. To see anything moonwalking in front of me.
If the ghost of Michael came to moonwalk in front of you, that's it. You're done.
I'm done. I've seen everything I need to see.
You know what's funny about that too?
Stamp collecting or something.
As if everybody in the room saw that and they're like, I just saw a white figure appear before me. They're like, oh, that's definitely Michael Jackson.
He's not a shadow person.
Yeah, definitely not. All right, so we are talking, of course, about the Rock for Christmas in July event, Saturday, July 7th, the Onset Band Shell. It's a free show. You can't beat the price.
I never thought you could.
And it's,
you know, even when we get $10 or $12 at the door, I don't think
that's true.
You can beat the price for the show that you get.
The shows that you put on are amazing for the little bit of money that you ask for the ticket prices, and I've never heard anybody leave one of these shows and say that they didn't get 3 or 4 times their money's worth. You know, it's one thing.
So I can go up on the price then?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's you're very aware of that though, because that's
how we go about trying to set these things up. I want it to be affordable for everybody to come. And
you come from this area. You know what it's like in this area when people are strapped for cash at Christmas time.
There's also the option of creating like VIP type of tickets too, where people get to go backstage and hang out and meet and greet the people too. If you wanted to do
some of that stuff too, for sure.
Make them very limited, so you know, like only 20 of them available, and make them. For a $100 donation, so to speak, you get to go back and have dinner or whatever.
Happy to do that.
The problem with that, though, is usually you got Moniz poking around back there. So that means
he bothers people sometimes.
I was going to say, people might pay $100 not to have to see him while they're there. You feel the love on this show, Dave?
Yeah, I know.
Does it come across on radio when you're listening in the chat room? Does it come across as...
It's not as warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
Not at all. No.
See,
so you got to be
I
here.
could cut this with a knife right now.
He's like, oh, I thought you guys really liked each other and just pretending to hate each other. No, we can't stand each other. Any of us.
I
No.
never
They've got
liked
bricks.
any of you.
They've got bricks and stuff stacked under there. They're just really good. They haven't started throwing them.
But and
The
Dave,
show's not over.
Dave, you're a big rock fan, though. I mean, to be somebody who listened to these bands for years and listened to WASP and XYZ, you were saying this off the air. It's so cool to be able to see them still coming around, still playing in such a small, intimate show as this, and to also, be able to have them all in the same bill. That's just amazing.
Oh, exactly. I really wished I'd have made it last year where we were talking before you came in, Wayne, and it was Corey Glover had played last Christmas.
Stet actually backed Corey Glover up last year.
And I really wanted to get to that show. I mean, that's because Living Color was huge. That tape was actually...
I'm getting a
literally
chill
taped
again,
into
too,
my tape
thinking
deck, so
about
it would
it,
have fallen
too.
out.
Of course, now you can't get him because now he's blown up with CM Punk taking his song now.
Yeah, right. But I was extremely fortunate to play with my buddies Craig Golding, Simon Wright, and Scott Warren, all from Dio. And actually, Simon played in AC/DC for a number of years, too. And I got to perform with them and do all the Dio hits and Black Sabbath hits. So that was really...
And we talked about this in November, but, and that means something to you as well because you had a personal relationship with Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah, Ronnie was a great friend of mine and a great friend to Rock for Christmas as well, which you can see some of the commercials on the website of him as well. So
now, I know from talking to you over the years, your preparation for the holiday show starts pretty much the day after all the holiday shows from that year are wrapped up.
Yeah, we kind of started things actually in December, talking about who's going to come back and what are we going to do. And
so now when you're throwing in this extra added pressure of putting on this summertime show, I mean, it must be a huge sacrifice on you for the time that you're putting into that December show. But do you feel like...
I was telling Matt earlier, I need my head examined.
You may.
Right.
But
there's issues.
Yeah, we all knew that, though. But but now the good part about this is you're getting some people who might not be down in this area year-round, who are coming here for the summer.
That people coming to their vacation homes, that they might be in another part of the country and say, oh, well, I didn't know you went over there to do this. Or, really? You're going to come to my hometown?
Yeah, and we got a nice place for you to play out here and,
exactly.
wherever.
And that's a big part of the promotion is in hopes that we garner some new fans of Rock for Christmas.
I would say even if they don't lead to a show being happening somewhere, maybe they spread the word and you get some donations from their hometown.
Exactly. That's my hope anyhow. And for the guys that play, maybe they'll see Joey playing with Badfinger somewhere or Stet playing somewhere, and they'll be like, "Wow, they were great at Rock for Christmas, and I want to go see them." I really, this is probably the most selfless expression that I can have is by doing these shows and bringing people together to try to help the community, help support local music, help support live music.
So you would
important.
Definitely entertain people's offers if they were able to provide a venue in their geographical area in that time frame?
Absolutely. I mean, as you know, we talk about this all the time. It's getting the money for the transportation and making sure there's sponsors for hotels and
right.
And
so if a local
the show
group...
part is easy, I can bring it anywhere. It's the logistics that cost the money to make this happen.
The show's kind of its own self-contained entity at this point, more or less, because you've been doing it for so long.
Yeah, and everybody loves to come play. It's one of the most selfless things that they can do. They're like, Wayne, if you get me a ticket and got a bed for me, I'm coming.
So basically a local chamber of commerce can call you and say, can you have this come to our town? And
I would love for that
because most chamber of commerces or things like that can probably talk to their local, hotels and other venues where they play at.
Yeah, that would be a big part of helping us come together and play more cities in the fall.
Now, you mentioned local music, and I think that's something that we should also mention is in these shows, it's not as much as you bring together a great lineup of rock and roll all-stars, you also like to feature some local bands on the bill as well. So when you go to these different cities and towns, you're featuring some of the local music from that area as well.
Absolutely.
and it's a good chance to not only give a different stage to those acts, who some people are coming out to see Eddie Money or Terry Luce or Stet Howland, and they're seeing all these other local bands. But at the same time, I mean, those local bands must be worshiping at the feet of some of these stars.
Well, there are a lot of great local acts too. I don't really look at it like they need to worship anybody or anything, but because they want to loan their services too, they want to give back. And I think that's been a big part of Rock for Christmas growth. Has been a lot of these stars, as great as they are, they're not the John Bon Jovis and the Mick Jaggers, and they don't get asked every day to do something, and we all want to give back, because things are okay.
Yeah, these stars started as local guys at one point.
Absolutely.
And I would bet a good number of them will tell you they'd rather play, for the Rock for Christmas crowd than they would for some of the, disaffected shows that they play at some other places.
And while I love them all and they're my friends, I've been known to get a little on edge sometimes and remind them where they came from.
You're like, hey, listen.
Only once or twice, but...
Well, you got to do what you got to do it.
You got to pick your moments when you can get away with it.
But everybody that I've ever seen, come into these, and I've been to some of the rehearsals and everything, it's just, it's infectious, that spirit of why you're doing this. And, you bring everybody in and you're saying, hey, come on, guys, we're doing this for the families. And then, then Stet starts saying it. And then Joey will start saying it. Terry will start saying it. It just becomes just the mantra for everybody that's involved.
Well, and that really is the reason they're all in town. They want to give back, and they want, I feel so fortunate that it's my home community that we're doing something in now.
So when you go forward now, and when you're thinking about the rest of your year, now you can plan on Rock for Christmas shows in the holiday season. And hopefully, if this goes well, we can get Wayne to keep putting on a Rock for Christmas in July every year as well, too.
I would love to be able to do that.
Of course, the problem with doing that is you have to not be totally burnt out from the holiday season either. Because you started working on this show pretty much when that one was over.
Yeah, I took a few weeks off, and then...
Well, you do always take the time to go out and spread the Rock for Christmas word, like out at NAMM and everything, too.
I do, and right after this, I'm going to Summer NAMM in Nashville. So to meet with some of the sponsors. And I feel very fortunate with that, too. I have some of the sponsors from New York and some people from Pennsylvania and Connecticut are all coming to this performance. So actually, some people are flying in from California. My sister is actually one of those people coming from California.
Nice.
But... yeah, it's a lot of really cool things happen around Rock for Christmas. So
and it turns into a family. If it's not your family that's coming in, the people that are coming in, it turns into a family.
It gives me that feeling every time.
And it's
we
not
get
just
together.
the performers either; it's the people that attend the shows. I mean, you're gonna come and hang out with people out in front of the Onset Band Shell that you're gonna see in the fall. I mean, I'm sorry, in the wintertime at the holiday show, and and next thing they're gonna become good friends, and you're gonna be going to all kinds of shows together because that's just the spirit that goes through the whole crowd.
Will people be able to get, paid to have autographs done with some of these people?
Yeah, I don't even know that they're going to have to pay. I mean, we would love to have.
Let's call it a donation.
Yeah,
yeah.
They'll be around and available. And there's going to be a bunch of merchandise. I mean, I have everything from pinwheels and flags and hats with the flag on them and for the holiday stuff, as well as Rock for Christmas in July T-shirts. I have some leftover T-shirts that'll be a great special, there to help generate some money. We're going to be doing the raffles and just want everybody to come support. Maybe.
And you'll even have some buckets out that people can drop a few dollars into.
Absolutely.
And it's important to note that, of course, this is going to be a whole day of events. Rock for Christmas in July will be starting at 10 a.m. with the Cars, Motorcycles, and Guitar Show, and then the concert itself will be going all the way till 4. Then the fireworks are at 9 o'clock. So it's important to let everybody know that if you want to donate to Rock for Christmas, make sure that you do that during the time of the show, because then after that there's going to be some donation buckets out for the fireworks fund. So we want to make sure that you know which one you're donating to. That's all. You should donate to both.
Absolutely. And I'm going to have a bunch of soft drinks and waters and stuff, and all that money will go to the Rock for Christmas Foundation as well.
And this will help you, moving forward too, in putting on a great show during the holiday season. So.
Absolutely.
So definitely come and check it out. It is at the Onset Bandshell. And really, like, if you've never been to the Onset Bandshell and you're from this area.
Great place to hear bands.
Yeah, you don't know what you're missing if you haven't been there before, because it's a cool spot. It's wide open. You're right there on the water. You're going to get a nice sea breeze. And you're going to be down in downtown Onset. You're going to be down there early. You're going to get a good spot before they make everybody not be able to park down there.
Premium parking spots for the fireworks.
That's the way to make money for Rock for Christmas, is to find somebody that owns a lot or something down there, and you can charge for parking, because you could get Red Sox, Yankees ticket prices. When they charge $95 just to park, you guys might be able to get away with that down there for the fireworks.
You come across like such a shyster. Why would you say something like that, Timothy?
I didn't say you had to do it in the name of Rock for Christmas.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying that's something.
How about you do that?
The four of us could do.
Why don't you do that and then make a donation to Rock for Christmas?
If I did that, people would know why I was collecting the money. They'll be like, I know why you're collecting $95 a parking ticket. Dave listens in on the Wednesday show that I do on the website, where I'm asking everybody to send me I'm like, I just spent $10 to join Skype Premium. Somebody donate $10.
I gotta hand it to him after the show. I'm gonna take it right out of the pocket.
Yeah, he does. He
threatened me.
Yeah,
right there.
I tell him, I said, hey, you want to get into this place? $10.
Yeah.
Admission fee.
Very happy that this is a free performance too, though, and everybody can come out with their families. And
that's what's been the most amazing to me, is that you've been able to put on a show synonymous with the quality of Rock for Christmas and made it a free show.
You know what I think too is it's great you got the reminder in July, because at Christmas time, yeah, it is kind of in your face. A lot of people are having hard times, and not just you guys with your charity, but it's out there. Sure. Everybody's having a hard time.
Right.
Well, it'll make it a little
keep
easier.
This in your face, especially in July too, where everybody's on summer. They're thinking summer. The kids are off for the summer.
Right. Everybody's on vacation. They just
tough times don't go away year round. It's
absolutely
that's a fact.
All right. Well, we are coming up on the end of the program. We should be back at our regular time next Saturday night, which means that we'll have plenty of time to go hang out at Rock for Christmas in July. Again, Saturday, July 7th from 10 to 4 at the Onset Bandshell. We've got from 10 to 12 the car, guitar, and motorcycle show. There's going to be some acoustic music, and then from 12 to 4, the big show starts. Joey Mullen of Badfinger, Terry Alous of XYZ and Great White, Stet Howland of WASP, Wayne Morrison of the Rock for Christmas All-Stars with his entire All-Star band will be there. And, it's good when, not only are you playing in front of your hometown crowd, but you're playing in front of Stet's hometown crowd, more or less. You're playing in front of people that know you and love you and support you, and also support your foundation. So you know that your efforts are going to be doubly appreciated.
Yeah, I'm thrilled to be home. And one other thing, if they'll go to the word rock, the number 4, xmas.com, check out who the sponsors are and
absolutely
details for the show. But
and don't just check them out.
Become a sponsor.
Become a sponsor or frequent the sponsors. Give them your business.
Absolutely.
Help them support Rock for Christmas. All right. Well, that does it.
Thanks so much for having me on.
Hey, thanks for coming. And thanks for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
All right. We will be back next week after Rock for we may be worn out from all that rocking all day, but we will be here to talk about the paranormal as we do each and every Saturday night. Remember, if you missed the show, you can download previous episodes through iTunes or on our website. You can also watch the video from Spooky TV on YouTube. And don't forget, Spooky TV has a lineup of great shows all week long. Tuesday nights, we have Spirit Connections with Tiffany Rice at 8 o'clock. And Wednesday nights at 10 o'clock, we have Spooky Crossroads, hosted by Chris Balzano. And he usually drags me in there as well. No Spooky Crossroads this week, though, for the holiday. So I think, Dave, if you're going to go be visiting Chris, that maybe you guys should do like a backyard podcast version of Spooky Crossroads.
I really have to kiss my wife's butt. I mean, she's got all 4 kids tonight. So
and
to be able to come down here and kind of be like in the Zen center of my Saturday night universe.
Now that you know where we are, and it's probably easier to sneak out after 8 o'clock. So you're welcome back anytime.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
As we say, the door is always open, but it's not really. It's locked, so knock on the window. All right, that does it for this week's show. We hope to see everybody Saturday at Rock for Christmas in July, and then we will talk to you Saturday night. Coming up here on WBSM, there'll be a little bit of network programming until 9:25 when the Red Sox come on, and it'll be the Red Sox in Seattle that'll be carrying you through for the rest of the night. And then Turnabout's Fair Play, we will shift them to a different time next Saturday. No? Doesn't work? No. Okay. All right, but we will be back next Saturday, so we look forward to talking to you then. Until then, for Matt Moniz, for Matt Costa, for Chris Balzano, for Dave Francis, for Wayne Morrison, I'm Tim Weisberg, and we want you all to stay spooked out.
First with local news, talk, and sports. This is WBSM New Bedford, AM 1420. WBSM, a Cumulus station.